Welcome everyone. Today we're going to be performing a battery change on an old G-Shock DW-004, and this is the 1683 module. Let's get right into it. Starting off with what we're going to need for this battery change, all we're going to need is a small Phillips head screwdriver, ideally metal tweezers, but if you don't have metal tweezers you can just use a metal paper clip, and of course our replacement battery, which is a CR2016. First things first, if your variant has a strap that's blocking our case back, we're going to need to take that off. Mine's a one-piece rubber strap, so I'm simply going to thread it through the loops here and set it aside for later. Now with our strap removed, the first thing we're going to want to do is remove our rubber wings here. So there's simply 4 screws in our corners. We're going to unscrew those and set them aside for later. The next screws we're going to want to remove are found on the sides of our watch. We want to remove those and set those aside as well. And now we can go ahead and flip our watch over, and we want to remove these 4 case back screws and set them aside as well. Now with all of our screws removed, we can go ahead and lift this little case layer off and set that aside. And we can go ahead and lift our case back off. And sometimes the rubber gasket will come out stuck to the case back. We'll be able to put that back in place when we reassemble the watch. Now that we're inside the watch, the first thing we're going to do is peel out this little rubber bumper layer, set that aside. And now if we pick up our watch, we'll see that there's a little latch right here. And in the middle of this latch is where we're going to want to take our tweezers or paper clip, right in the middle, pull out towards us, and that will unlatch the battery housing. Now we can grab that old battery and get rid of it. Now we can come on in with our new battery. Again, this is a CR2016, and I always advise holding it by the side so you don't accidentally short it if you don't have finger covers on. Simply slide it right in place, and we'll press that latch down, and you'll hear it click. Now our new battery is installed. Now we're ready to perform our AC reset, which is simply going to reset the module to factory defaults, clear any errors if there are any. This is where having those metal tweezers will really come in handy, but if you're using a paper clip, you can simply bend it into an arch. You just want to have 2 metal points. So looking at our module right here, we can see a little label AC, and it's indicating this gold tab at the bottom of this hole here. So we simply want to contact one end of our metal to that gold tab and the other end to the metal on our module and hold it for about 2 seconds. And then just to ensure that we perform the reset correctly, I like to put my finger over the spring here. That spring is important. You don't want it to fall out. I'll flip the watch over and we should see it start counting up from 0 seconds. So it's only been about 20 since I performed the reset. So we're good to go and we can start reassembling the watch now. Our first step in reassembly is going to be to put that rubber bumper layer back in place. As we can see, there's a hole here. That's where this spring is going to go through. We're simply going to line everything up. Make sure that our spring is protruding properly, and we'll also see that there's a metal tab here at the bottom, and that's protruding up. And now, just in case yours came out during disassembly, we're going to reinstall our case gasket. So as we can see at the top, there's a little notch here, and on our gasket there's a notch sticking off on the top. We're simply going to drop it right in place. I like to use my tweezers to make fine adjustments. We just want to make sure our gasket is perfectly seated in that groove. Now we're ready to reinstall our case back. This one may take a few tries to line up right, but we want to make sure that we remember that our spring in this metal tab indicates the lower portion of our watch. We're going to come in with our case back, make sure that our Casio and all of our information is properly oriented. And we're simply going to place it on top there. Now we're going to come in with that case we removed. We're going to slide it right over. And if everything is lined up properly, we should be able to see the holes where our case back screws are going to go. We'll go ahead and drop those in and tighten those up first. So I usually like to just hold my thumb on this. We got to make sure it stays in place. Drop my screws in, and now all we need to do is snug all 4 of them up. And remember, they just need to be snug, not super tight, because these screws are very delicate. Next, we'll grab those small screws we removed from the sides, drop them in place as well, and get them secured in there. And finally, we're going to go ahead and reinstall those rubber wings that we removed. So we're simply going to match the shape, get our holes lined up, drop our screws in, and these sometimes you're just going to kind of have to fish them around until they start threading into the holes. And again, these 2 just snug, you don't want to go too tight. Now I'm going to go ahead and thread my strap back through the loops. And we are all done. As we can see, all of our modes cycle, our beep is audible, and our backlight is working. So our watch is completely ready to wear again. Thank you guys so much for joining me in this battery changing tutorial. I really hope that it was clear and helpful. If you have any questions for me, please be sure to comment down below. And if you're interested in more tutorials and watch related content, please do consider subscribing. I cover a wide range of G-Shock, Baby G, and normal Casio products, so please stay tuned for more. Thanks everyone.